Hey, Stephen. Hey, John F. Rumpel, Elizabeth. Hey, everybody. Julie, Kenneth, Maribel. Nice. Let's see, is this working? Yeah, everything's working. Unbelievable. I got everything. Everything's up and running. Ah, thanks, Let's Freedom Ring. Yeah, thanks, Gloria, sweetheart. Yeah, I hope everything. I mean, I hope this channel won't will. I just things seem to be getting tight. What's up in the hood? Yeah, man, we're good up here. I mean, it's a lot of action up here. I have to say, I was very excited to see some things from my window that are pretty interesting. I'll tell you about it. Hey, GMC, Rhonda. I hope Martha. I missed a lot of folks. I'm sorry. Debbie, Brenda, Elizabeth, Ryan, Key Western. Names are important. Corin, Elizabeth. Hey, Elizabeth, you doing all right? GMC, Rhonda, Island Girl, Gregory, Elizabeth, yeah. Yorkie, hey man, what's up? No, it's okay. I my phone is off anyway. Don't worry. Hey, Brian. Hey, TMWT, White Lightning, yo back, man. Oh my gosh, I just got such an interesting post from Miss G about the rabbis in a rabbi in my community is a real powerhouse, man. This guy's he's unbelievable. Rabbi Green is like he's just um, yeah. Rabbi Green put out a post on Facebook that this is Frank's post. Frank Zelenko. Oh, wow. Yeah, Frank Zelenko, man, the powerhouse. Okay, so he's talking about my hometown, Crown Heights. That there's some issues there with the doctors and the rabbis about medical things. You guys can figure out what that means. So I had a nice peaceful Shabbos. Went for a walk on the beach. A woman from South Korea walked with me a little ways. It was kind of cozy. Nice to have somebody to talk to. Um, Apparently, there's a lot of I think there are a lot of South Koreans in my neighborhood. I saw other. I'm starting to get to know the place a little bit. I went by the cat town. They have this whole place where all the cats are. Yeah, the dead clock. I heard about that. I have to check that out. I think things are getting very interesting. You feel the energy changes? Good, man. That's great. Yeah, I think so, man. I think these things are good. I mean, also, I think the do I have the life wave thing in conjunction with the ASEA, even if you just get the X39, I think they're really powerful together. And also the stuff they give you to put smear on your skin, unbelievable. And I also want to say it. I don't know if it's these. I think it's the ASEA and the LifeWave patches, but I took off my glasses all day long. I was able to read. I could see. I mean, my vision is getting better. My hair is growing back. My skin is looking younger. I told this South Korean woman my age, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" She says, "You look so much younger." It turned out we're the same age. She says, "Oh, I thought you were much younger." X39, yeah. Um, I mean, that's like the basic, that's the basic LifeWave patch. Also, the Purium food supply. I'm excited to get that too. I think that's also going to be a real amazing thing. If you have the resources, I think these three things in conjunction could be really good. I don't think we have to wait for the med beds. I think these technologies are up there, galactic. At any rate, okay. So I saw silver is on the zero. Is it zero on the dead clock? What does that mean, zero? I'm not putting drops in my eyes with the ASEA. I didn't do that. I put it in my nose sometimes, but I use this spray. I do use the spray. Like I don't have enough hookups to spread. I can spray mist on my face. That I like to do sometimes. But I don't have enough connections here because I'm connected to my. So my camera apparently cannot take me and the ocean at the same time during the day, but it's brilliant at night. I love that I can get the background here. So I'm going to keep this camera, even though finances might get crazy. Oh, on another channel. What is this channel called? I think it's called Ellie Weber. Okay, so yeah, so a lot going on, right? Thank you, John F. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna try to figure out a way to. Let's see, for streaming the other day, I'm just going to use my my computer, even though it's not as jazzed up as I want it to be. But you know what? It's fine. At least you get the color. It's growing, yeah, and my vision is getting better. I haven't had a chance to check out my my virility lately, but hopefully someday I'll find some willing victim. The fiat is going bye-bye. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. I hope there are no kids listening this late at night. I apologize if there are. I was just being silly. Yeah. So okay. So let's see. So let me start with. I used to see my plants and they revived. Wow. Jazzy guitar is better than jazzed up computer anyway. Could be. Teenage guru, yeah. Yeah, man. So one thing that, I mean, this is a firsthand report that I can give. I want to get the other way so you can see the cool lights and everything. I saw personally some really cool lights in the sky. Not like intergalactic, but military lights in the sky. I just don't usually see this kind of activity, but there seems to be a lot. It seems like they're up and around. I mean, there's one in particular. If you look behind me, I mean, you might see it. I don't know if he's there now. Watch this. Is this one of the lights? I'm not sure. I think that's an airplane. Yeah, that's an airplane. But if you might see in the background, it's so amazing that it's set up like this. You might see in the background, you'll see two lights. They are searching the area for, I don't know what. Yeah, thank God to the military, 100%. So there, and I also saw a bunch of other activity going on. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give the enemy any tips. But at any rate, there's a lot going on. Yeah, crazy, how, yeah, there's a lot of movement, really, right? Yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's been a while, it's okay. So I'm gonna go now to my own channel because I put these posts on here to, let's see, I'm not going to go to the Intel because here to Kabbalah Guru. Okay, there are a couple of drops that are really exciting. Oh, well, one of the drops on my channel tells you what words they use to show you that there's bugs in your food. Ugh, det, skal, stadig, sta, pa, ver, derk, lar, tionen, trots, alt. Start looking for these names on you. You may want to check in with my Intel channel to check this post so you don't eat any bugs. It's certainly not kosher to eat bugs. They use the Latin name for crickets, mealworms, etc. They're putting the names of insects in Latin on the food labels. So you may want to check in with my Intel channel, like I said. Certainly if you're trying to keep kosher, not kosher. Okay, so let me read these two posts just to get us started. And then I had, I usually have like some kind of insight over Shabbos. I have an interesting way to connect with this week's Parsha, which is Beshalach, meaning he sent. And Paro sent the Jews. He kicked the Jews out of Egypt. He said, after begging for 10 plagues, after Moses begging to be let go, Paro finally goes, leave, get out of here, And there's an interesting chiddush or insight that will help us with. It's better to have Latin bug names, right? Must be better for right, exactly. Prefer to eat my bugs via chicken eggs. Yeah, okay. Irma. All right, so Irma, how you doing, girl? All right, so here we go. I don't eat processed food, right? I don't really either. I don't think I have any processed foods. Oh, I just had some oat milk. That's processed. 16th letter, the fretboard won't rent that letter. The 16th letter. Q R A B C D F G H J K L M N O P P. Okay. Check your potato sticks. Yeah. Sticks. I got a notification. You got a notification. Cool. Eat steel cut oats. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, those are good. Were there many comms in it? Hey, Irma, Lila Tov. Bugs are a big no-no. Yeah, exactly, Irma. We don't really eat bugs. I even threw away. I mean, as rebellious as I am, I threw away a whole batch of Brussels sprouts because they were just completely infested. And I know. Before I read the intel, I want to give out one really big thing that happened to me on Shabbos that I think is really interesting. I found a store near me, a kosher. It's a kosher grocery store that had the kind of yogurt that I like, and that is from only if you're keep kosher and you live in New York can you get this stuff. It's from Bethel Farms because because I know the farmer, and I've stayed up there a couple times, and I trust him because he once said, I heard him say that people come to look at his farm and they break into the barn, and he said when the cows see like strange people poking their nose around, they don't produce as much milk. I thought to myself, man, this guy really cares. He's really Rabbi Franklin, a totally cool dude. And but anyway, I was eating. It's ridiculously expensive for a small amount of yogurt, but I had some for breakfast this morning. I found this place to get it, and I felt my body just like felt like I just felt so good. It's like sometimes when I drink water, if I'm really if I'm dehydrated, I also get that feeling of just like and that feeling. I'm going to get to this later, but that's the feeling. I don't hear anything out of this. I'm not hearing anything. You guys hearing me? Oh, I know why. Yeah, now I hear it. That feeling of that's the feeling of Geula. That's the feeling of freedom. That's the feeling that we are going to have when we attain ascension. And you don't have to wait. We do not have to wait. We can have that feeling, and you should be trying to get that feeling as much as possible. I don't have it all the time. I don't get it all the time, but that's bringing God onto the planet, because I believe in the future. From the intel I'm getting from above, my downloads, when we get to the future, we're going to feel comfortable and creative all the time. We're just going to feel like somebody will come into your room, and you're not going to get like you just it's just going to be like it's everything's going to be everything's going to be comfortable and peaceful, and you're not going to be frightened by anything ever. We're not going to be frightened in the future. We're just going to be. So what I'm saying is that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. That's what we need to cultivate, and that is bringing God into our lives. That is building a dwelling place for God, because I mean, in this era, you could still feel fear, but that's where we're heading. And I'm going to explain how that fits in with the Parsha in a little while. Let me just get to the intel in the meantime. Okay, so, right, start looking at the food labels. Now, the country R warns red line crossed on the West's decision to send tanks into the country U. Germany announced earlier Wednesday that it was ready to send 14 Leopard 2 tanks and to allow other countries to send their own tanks. The U.S. is also expected to announce its own intention to send Abrams tanks to. Now, first of all, we read already that they're not going to have enough time to figure out how to run these things. I mean, you can't just jump into like you get this imagine like I don't know. I mean, it's just ridiculous, extremely dangerous. But this is where we're heading, and this is we just have to be brave, and we have to help the others to be brave in this one. Extremely dangerous. The R embassy in Berlin is calling the German decision extremely dangerous and says it takes the conflict to a new level of confrontation. We are headed to events that will bring military tribunals after the exposure of the bad boys, okay? So these are the events. We've been hearing about these events for a long time. So this is very interesting, because not only are they telling you like what's going on in terms of the news, but they're also telling us how to read these things, which is like, chill, man. It's like, this is just part of the show, So These events were long foretold in the Storm Rider, behind the scenes through the EU, Canada, UK, Australia, United States. The militaries are divided as between the DS military and the White Hat military. Intelligence and both sides are getting ready for the storm, arrest wars that will come after the current exposure happening through the world, connected to this and this, right? Everything is connected. The laundering in, yeah, something about the V place. Something is about to happen that's going to be. I saw an intel thing that said something is going to be one amazing that will blow everyone's socks off, and that's coming from the country V, from near Rome. But anyway, these events were long foretold behind the scenes. The military divided, right? Okay, everything is connected. The laundering, Gilligan's Island, BO, the end, the war to end all wars is happening and will connect to exposure of the DS that created the bioweapons. I said it. I'm sorry. These things, wars, warmongering for profit, cover up to create confusion. Hold on tight, patriots. Buckle up, buttercups. The world is connected. Have faith. Military white hat military alliance have procedures in place to avoid use of nukes, but we will come to the edge of M period A period D period, which is mutual assured destruction, near death civilization event. And by the way, I thought to myself on the weekend that I need to get everyone's email address, because I hope I can do this in time, because I feel, that I'm just getting, I'm getting like advance warning that, whatever. Anyway, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But I was thinking we could all just do a huge Zoom if I had everyone's email address. And I have people that have been telling me, you got to get the email addresses. I just have to get around to do it. Yeah. Cherie, I can't believe you're back. I don't think, Francine, you need to. I think that anything in the bank is going to be converted to gold and silver. It's the cash that's in circulation that's before 1921 that you should be worried about. That they're going to confiscate old cash, not cash in the banks. Return fiat to us. Shavua Tov. Yeah, you feel it too, Candace? Yeah, I mean, they're squeezing the channel quite a bit. So I was thinking it would be we could just do it on Zoom, because I thought I was prepared. Maybe I think this channel might be, we tried to put it under a different email address so that the channel would be taken down. This channel is apparently not connected to, we did this by design. It's not connected to my other channel, apparently. I hope. So maybe we're safe on this channel. I wish I had, in 2 weeks, I'll be able to put a post out on the other channel. Hopefully I can get in time. I can put out a post steering everyone, 50,000 people, to this channel. I am prepared. I feel like I'm more prepared than last time. Last time I had 10,000 subscribers, they took it down, and we built it up to 50 grand. And I think, the thing is that these other products are very helpful to the channel, and I don't want anyone to to strain themselves financially, but the health products, I'm hoping that I can stay in business with the health products. That was kind of like the strategy. I just tried a lot of different things, but it seems that those could potentially bring enough income to support my efforts in terms of expanding the channel. If we have to build this channel up new, I'm okay with that. That would buy us some time until we can build up the email addresses or something. But anyway, it's an ongoing, it's a war, and I accept it. I consider myself a digital warrior, and I know everyone here on the channel does as well. So hopefully we will find a way through this, and we'll make it to the end. Please God. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna lose it. You can still spend the oath. Yeah, we have to be clever. Yeah, we have to make it to the end. So hopefully, I think this channel. I think because me and Shaquille learned our lesson last time, because last time we thought we were being like clever. We had a second channel, but it was on the same email address, and they wiped out both channels when they took it down. So this one we were careful to set it up under a different email address. I don't even know what the email address is, but he does. And so yeah, so hopefully yeah, my regular channel is down because for 2 weeks I have two strikes against me, but hopefully I can. I also saw what they were doing to Miss Janine. Janine was released again on YouTube, and they put music over her things. I mean, they're really we knew this, they were going to be aggressive. Oh, Cherie, oh ma Cherie, oh, the vibrations from a French woman to it just opens the very inner part of my heart. Um, so yeah, it's best to be prepared. But yeah, so I think this channel is going to get us to the next step, whatever that's going to be. But like I said, if it doesn't stretch you out, and if you think these health products are good for you, I mean, again, no pressure. Don't do anything crazy. But if you think you might want to try them, then I'm hoping to ride through the storm, because I invested in some extra help with making shorts, what are called shorts, for my friends in Nepal. So whatever it is, I'm just saying. My other channel, get taken down for 2 weeks. It's taken down for 2 weeks, but this is how they operate. I have one video. The first video that was taken down is due to be freed up. That my time in Gehenna in prison, in the YouTube prison, is over on February 8th. But they could easily find, they find videos that I published like months ago, and they say, oh, this is no good. I don't even know what they found this last time, but I suspect it had to do with the 13 bloodline families. They don't like people saying that. Guru is sowing clam diggers now. I don't know what that means. Explosion in Iran. Thank you, Hadass. Shorts are going to start monetizing this quarter or second. Okay, so I'm putting a lot of money into shorts. Let's put it that way. Okay, yes. Let me get to the intel. So that's the first post. So the White Hat military alliance have procedures in place to avoid using the nukes, but we will come to the mutual assured destruction near-death civilization event. Now, here's a post about Soros, and I want to say also before I get into this, oh, this is the post about it. Okay. I have been giving you much information on Georgie, in the past months, but 17 and a lot of other people and channels, including Stormrider, have dropped information on in the last 3 years. But recently, in the past 2 months, I told you that he was inside the kill box and the White Hats are publicly coming after him. That's confirmed. As Mr. T now publicly goes after GS and promises to end the riots in the United States. Flynn and many others are publicly putting him in this box. Even DeSantis is going after GS, after Georgie boy. Behind the scenes, the alliance are gathering, this is the important point, are gathering the sheriffs across the United States into huge operations for 2024 arrest. The county sheriffs have more power than city police and state police and have special procedures that can arrest top officials, even senators, Congress, even the president. The power of the sheriffs in the United States is far more powerful than people know. I thought it was the military who was going to do it. In 2021, I wrote, the White Hats are aligning the sheriffs across the U.S. for coming operations, and thousands of sheriffs would be deputized. Oh, I just realized something. T is on fire and keeps dropping drips of what's going to happen, confirming many military ops the 17 community has been talking about for years. Now watching Trump's report, fake the thing that they did to him in the beginning with Mueller exposes everything and all the bad guys. John D., you know what I'm talking about? The attorney is only beginning. FISA corruption at the highest levels of the organization, the five-letter organization that starts with a D, and the FISC, I forget what the initials, but it's the intelligence court that the bad guys go to circumvent justice. And there's one more post. I just want to do one thing. Let's see if I can pull this off. I think so. Should be more. Okay, I got it. Okay, so yeah. Okay, now this is a post that I sent to my friend, and she didn't understand what this means, but I understand. I think I understand what it means, and I'm gonna, especially for people who are religious, Jewish, this is a very important post to understand. I have a window open, but it's still very. I did on Shabbos. It's probably not a very kosher thing to do, but I do a lot of house straightening up on Shabbos, things that I can't get to during the week. But so I stirred up a lot of dust in this room, but I really got it. I got it really streamlined. Okay, so let me explain this post. I'm going to say it in a way that's, I hope I mean, this is an area that I never really discussed before. I'm going to I'm going to say it like this. There was an attack in a synagogue in Israel. And they're saying here that it was not terrorists. It was the same people who did the Twin Towers job, the same organization. So this is an organization that's been, from my perspective, from the way I see it, that all the terrorist attack, all the conflict between Israel and its neighbors is a deep state operation. That it's not, there really is no conflict, that they finance these bad boys and perpetrate these things to keep the conflict going. And unfortunately, the press calls these people Zionists. These are not Zionists. These are, what's a good word for them? Deep state. These are the reptilians, man, that got into all the intelligence operations all over the world, and are using their, this is the same bad boys that brought you World War II and World War I. It has nothing to do with Zionism. I mean, that's a very poor way of naming it. Just like it's very misleading to say it's all about the Khazarians or that the Khazarians are Zionist. Both of those things are ridiculous, because it forgets it. I've said this a million times. You guys already know it, but I'm just, anybody new to the channel, the 13 bloodline families near Rome, nobody ever mentions them. They all want to say Khazarian Mafia, Khazarian Mafia. I'm not saying the Khazarian Mafia gets off the hook. These bad boys are bad boys. You got the rocker people and you got the Roth kids. They're the ones who always take the hit. But the real bad boys, I mean, they're bad boys. I'm not saying they're good guys. They're horrific. But nobody ever mentions the 13 families from the Vatican that are associated with the Vatican. And that's why that's really why my other channel was taken down, because I mentioned something about this. And this is over a target that nobody wants to bomb, which I don't understand why that is. But this thing's out of, it doesn't have enough. Okay. Better. Okay, we're better now. Okay, that was great. Thank you so much for your patience. But these are very exciting and interesting and important posts to understand. I mean, and that's really the bottom line here, is that we have been misled into thinking that the conflict is something other than it really is. So most Jewish people think it's the Arabs. They hate us. They want to, yes, and they do, because they're paid off by these bad boys to do this. And they're trained from birth by these bad boys. It's not native to, it's not a natural thing. I don't believe so. I mean, it's the same people that did the Twin Towers. It's the same people that brought you Springtime for and Germany, right? The same bad boys that brought you the showers and all that good stuff, that brought you this, not to be mentioned. Anyway, but I'm hoping you guys are figuring that out, that we are now, as they say here. Okay, let me go back to this intel. The war to end all wars, because we are fighting for the first time in our existence the enemy, the real enemy, which is the deep state that created this, they create wars, they create everything for profit. And now I'm going to tell you the insight that I had and how this all fits in with the news. The insight is that we're coming into Parshas Beshelach, meaning he sent, meaning Paro sent. Now, the Rebbe gives an analysis on this parsha. He says that yes, first of all, 4/5 of the Jews stayed in Egypt, stayed in the matrix, and died during the plague of darkness. The 1/5 that left but the Rebbe says until they tasted freedom, they were doing everything by human logic. They were like, yeah, let's get out of here, man. It sucks here. It's not nice. I'm sorry, I used a bad word. It's not good here, but this was logical thinking. And this is why I'm connecting this to that feeling of comfort and because that's the geula, that's the ascension process. When you feel that means you're there, you're home, you're with God, and you will receive information. But the Jews, when they left Egypt, according to the Rebbe, when they left Egypt, they left for rational reasons. It's slavery, it's no good, we got to get out of here. But until they tasted freedom, until they had that moment, they were only doing it with their logical thinking. When they tasted freedom, they went above logic. They went into what I always call das, meaning the connection between their heart, their mind, and godliness. They went above normal rational thinking. Now, I'm going to give a chiddush, a unique thought that ties everything together. And it goes like this. When you taste freedom, you will connect to God above reason, with I've said it in many places. Most recently, I describe it on the Gnostic channel. But I mean, if you take my course, I mean, it's still on Jason Shirka's channel. I'm going back to that right now. But I gave a course on, it's called Practical Kabbalah. But I talk about Das. Das, there are 10 spheros. Das, anyway. I'm not going to I can't keep redefining it, but you have to do your own research on this, on DAS, DAAS, DAS. It means knowledge, but it doesn't mean knowledge. When our DAS, when we connect to godliness above reason, and how do we do that? I'm putting this together now. When we taste freedom, we will experience an elevation, an ascension. We will connect through our das, which connects the emotional bodies with the intellectual bodies, with the godly, with chokmah, with God's wisdom. When we connect with das, the das will move from where it is in your bodily structure on the tree of knowledge. It will transform itself, transform your body into the tree of life where you will live forever. You will have an awakening. You will be awake. Now, and I'm giving this chiddush now, but you'll have to review this a little bit. It's a very complex thought. Until remember I said that the reptiles got into our DNA in the tree, in the Garden of Eden. They and we ate from the tree of knowledge. Eitz Hadas, the Eitz Hadas. Now, when we transform our das, when we elevate our das, and we have that, when we feel the freedom and we ascend, we will transform the tree of knowledge into the tree of life and live forever. That is what our history has been all about. In other words, the reptiles got into our DNA in the Garden of Eden until we are able, and this is a personal ascension. Yes, it will happen for the whole world, but it's probably going to happen with us first. When we elevate, when we taste freedom, we have that moment. When we taste freedom, meaning we've ascended, we feel comfortable in our own bodies, in our own skin, in our own environment. We will have fulfilled the purpose of our difficult history. In other words, God wanted us to go through this period where we transform this reptilian evil into, we take that energy to do good. Now, the purpose of history was to get humanity to transform that spark of evil into good. And that's what we're coming into the age of the Great Awakening, the era of Mashiach, of Messiah, means that we personally, and this is a personal thing, that you and I personally have reached that ascension state where we've transformed the evil that was put into our DNA. We use that energy to do godly things. And when we taste freedom, which is that moment, and we elevate our das, we go from rational thinking into godly thinking, into connecting directly, where our das becomes our crown. The das moves up to the crown chakra. This is like technical stuff you don't even need to know, but I'm just saying from a Kabbalah point of view. When the das, and there are a lot of tree of life diagrams that show das as like the hidden spherot, and they show it like ascending. When that das, when we've completed the purpose of history and we've transformed our reptilian DNA into a force for good that goes beyond reason, we will have fulfilled the purpose of history, and we can begin the godly era. The age of Aquarius, the age where we will live forever, the age where we will connect directly to godliness, the end of all wars, at least for the next 1,000 years. And that's it, man. I mean, I don't know if anyone can understand what I just said. I mean, it seems, I don't think it's a simple concept, but I think it makes sense. And if you play with it in your mind for a while, you will see that it's all about the narrative. And once we know the narrative, and this is the narrative, this is the missing piece of the puzzle. This is the actual narrative, why we had to go through this horrible history, why we had to deal with these reptilian idiots, the deep state, the Illuminati, is to reach this moment of ascension. That God wanted us to do this because Adam was a sweetheart, but Adam was not equipped to deal with the real world. It's like when you have a kid, you know, you like, you know, you want to prepare your kid for dealing with the real world. Like poor Mendel, we sent him off to yeshiva. I mean, he was out of town at like the age of 16 or 15. I mean, he's fully able to function in the real world. I, on the other hand, I stayed home. You know, I got to be like these Antifa kids, you know, they're living in their parents' mansions in their basement. I didn't have a mansion, but I'm just saying I was living in my parents' house. You know, and I was like a wild radical type dude, musician type. And you don't want your kid to go out like that, right? You want your kid to be strong and be able to fight. So that's why God did this to us for all these generations. We went through all this turmoil, all this hardship, all this difficulty in order for us to grow up and to be able to transform that reptilian strength into a force for godliness, for good, by transforming our das, by transforming our intuitive knowing, our godly intuition, our thing that doesn't make sense. I mean, that's why there are 655 people here right now and not 50 million. There should be 50 million people. I just gave the chiddush. I just gave the answer, the secret. I'm not me. It just came through me. This is like the secret of everything for us. This is the narrative. And once we have the narrative, it doesn't matter if it's 655 people or 655 million. Once you have the narrative and once you understand that history was created on purpose, we went through all this stuff so that we would be godly, but strong, not godly like Adam. Adam was completely connected to godliness, but he was sweet. He was sweet. He didn't understand. He didn't even know he was naked. He was just like a sweetheart. That being like that will not get you, you know, you won't be able to survive in the neighborhood. You won't be able to survive in the neighborhood that way. You have to have a certain bout of toughness. And that's why we went through this history, so that we could take that reptilian strength and convert it into a godly strength. And now we can go into a godly world where we don't need satanic judges, we don't need satanic governments, we don't need anything like that. We can be godly, but we can also be strong enough to defend ourselves from some very violent and vicious neighbors called the Dracos, called the Deep State, called the Illuminati. So we are about to go into 1,000 years of peace that we earned, but it has to come from us. It cannot come as a gift from above. This, you know, all this stuff about the ascension process and the Schumann resonance is all fine and well. But if you don't have the backbone to support, if you don't know the narrative, if you don't know that it's not a friendly neighborhood always out there, and if you don't know how to defend yourself and how to stay godly with strength, you're not going to make it. So that's where we're coming to, and that is the narrative in a nutshell. Why it comes from me, I have no idea. Why no one else put this together? I think people will probably put it together simultaneously. That's usually how ideas come, that many people will have the idea at the same time. But God has put me through, various trainings in my life. He made me religious for 20 years. He made me, all different pathways to be able to put this piece together. Once you have the narrative, now 635 people understand the narrative. Nothing can stop this now. You got 635, that could be, once you have the narrative, the real narrative, nothing could stop what's coming. Nothing could stop this understanding from spreading across the globe. And once it does, we, the human species, will no longer be sweet Adam. We will be sweet Adam, but strong sweet Adam, strong and knowing and godly, full of justice and charity, but we're not going to be fooled by reptiles ever again, I hope. So that's something I think I put together this weekend. But again, this narrative, this understanding of this narrative would have to be filtered through your own consciousness, and you'll have to come back to me and tell me if it makes any sense to you or if not. But it makes sense to me, and if it does, if it is true, if it makes sense, it'll make sense to you guys too. I mean, this could be just, wishful thinking on my part, but our consciousness is expanding. Yeah. So if you guys, understand what I said, I don't know, or maybe go through this tape again. I don't know. That's it, man. Where we go one, we go all. We're done. And I think we are done. I think, but the point is that we're coming into Passover now, and they're talking about April. They're talking that there's also a little thing that it can't come until Tishrei. It's not going to be possible in April, because April means God, like in Passover, God came down to save us. It has to be in September, in the month of Tishrei, and Elul and Tishrei, because this narrative has to end with us claiming power forever, for us saying, we know who we are, we know we're godly, and we're going to eat from the tree of life. But it has to come, what they call in Chassidus, or in Hebrew, is lamata lamaila. It has to be that every person who hears this message, who understands, ascends on their own. And then we can all come together. And I think that's how it's going to end. And if you ask me, I think the story will probably culminate in Tishrei, in Rosh Hashanah, rather than Passover. But I could be this whole thing could be just total nonsense. I don't really know. But anyway, think about it. I once heard the Dalai Lama give a speech. I won a ticket to hear him speak, and I've heard since then that he's been corrupted. I don't know. But he gave a speech, and at the end of the speech, he said, "If you like what I said," he said, "that's great," and he said, "If you didn't like what I said, that's fine. That's great too." It's like, so I think that was a really beautiful thing to say. I don't know why I'm kidding. There's certain people that like to engage me in into certain mind states of mind, that sometimes when a person plays with your mind, you have to just sort of walk away and just say, I can't really even I don't really understand what you're saying, and it's not going to be for me to even like try to follow your argument is not, and that's really growing strength. That's really that shows that I've done my homework, and I'm that I'm like Adam. I'm sweet like Adam, but I'm also like, I have enough of a reptilian to be able to survive in this dangerous neighborhood. Yeah, but the number 13, Eva, is also the number of Echad in Jewish gematria. Echad means one, means unity. The Shema Yisrael, Hashem is Elohim, Hashem is Echad, meaning that both God in nature and above nature is one. It's unity. So yeah, 13 could be an ugly number, yeah, but it could also be a beautiful number. Maybe that's maybe that's true of all. Yeah, I think that's true probably of all things. That all things really good also have a reflection of real evil, and it's just a matter of us um, putting our flag in the good side. Oh, by the way, another thought I had is, there's something that they said evil is klipa. What does that mean? It means that evil is just a shell. Klipa means shell. Evil is just a shell that covers the sweet fruit. So once we get past the evil, once we take off the covering, we will get to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge and transform that fruit into the tree of life. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's it. Are there riots in New York? I've heard there are, but I believe they'll be put down pretty quickly. 13 cities will be evacuated. Yeah, that's all the intel. I mean, I could look for other intel if you want. I can see if there's anything posted recently. Let me see. Let me see if anything was posted just now while I was talking. But I think I was able to weave together the intel with Torah. No, there's nothing new on the White Hat channel. Let me just see if Tyranny. Breaking intensified military aircraft activity over Tehran amid reports of blasts in several parts of the country. I'm going to put this on the Intel channel. This next post. Let's see. KABBALAHguru Intel and also KABBALAHguru. Okay. Okay, so this piece of intel gives a lot of new intel already. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of information coming out about this thing. Okay, a lot of info, and that's going to blow away the deep state. There's some kind of mass shooting. There's going to be all kinds of false flags everywhere. Okay, let me read. There's a lot that just came out even since we started this this broadcast. The information is just pouring out. Okay, yeah, we saw this. Okay, I'm just going to go quickly. Iran says it repelled a drone attack on a military site. Ripple CEO expects a ruling before January 30th. I don't know why that's taking so long. 45 stops at Gasteneau. Okay, that's Mr. T. Explosion reported in Iran. The West must never again go totalitarian. Okay, so here's the intel report. Destruction of DUMBs and the drug AC harvesting stations. Shell company cover for for this operation for AC. Expect weeks of fuel supply disruptions from the Shell company. Hurricane Ida shuts down 95% of Gulf of Mexico oil production. The Royal Dutch Shell Pick Covenant refinery is seen Saturday, August 28th in Louisiana. More than 90% of oil production in the Gulf of Mexico has been shut down because of Hurricane Ida. I don't know if this is an old post. Yeah, this is an old post, but Shell is associated with this harvesting of AC, of the drug AC, and it says Shell has 268-kilometer pipeline located right where 3 ships are. They are, okay, they're harvesting the AC, mass shootings. Okay, so that's, just see if there's anything else. Okay, here. Notable clips. The 2024 elections are one shot to save the country. Dad, I left my I left my laptop at computer repair. April Fool's Day. April Fool's gender lunacy. Okay, so remember, April is associated with the month of Nisan, with Passover, and that's where God comes down to save us. I don't believe it can happen at that time. I hope I'm wrong, but I believe it has to wait until Tishrei. I mean, remember that the Torah is the blueprint for reality in this realm. So I think if you try to interpret, I don't know, I could be wrong. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. God created 2 genders, right? We need the blessings from God. I put my cards on the table. We're going to reverse every crisis, calamity, and disaster that JB created. Bing, bing, boom. It says Israel might be attacking Iran right now. If they are, it would probably be the intelligence organization from Israel and not Israel itself to create a false flag, because these bad boys, the intelligence agency that starts with an M in Israel, they are not Zionists. They are associated with the Khazarians and the 13 bloodline families. I don't know how this happened, but somehow all the intelligence organizations were taken over by the Germans from at the end of World War II. Doesn't make sense, but that's what happened. All right, 660 people. So if you could, if you get a chance, try to ruminate on some of the things I said and see if that narrative makes sense in terms of the Garden of Eden and the reptiles and what's happening now with 17. I mean, it all fits together in my mind, but it has to resonate with you guys, or else it's just another silly thought. All right. So have a great night. And Torah is the Old Testament. Very good. Yeah, I'm sorry, Irma, you're right. Yeah, Torah is the Old Testament. The Jews believe that the Torah is the blueprint for reality. So when I interpret the activity of 17, I use Torah. And I try to find what I call confluence, which is when 2 rivers come together. But it seems to me that we have completed the assignment we took on in the Garden of Eden, and we're about to be freed. And once we are freed, we will all ascend, because it goes above reason. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Julie, my friend Julie, I put the address. If you go to the show more, you can get this calendar. She put a link where everybody can get order this calendar. I highly recommend. If you're a truth seeker, you must have this calendar. This is my main. I mean, I look at this calendar 100 times. Eh, my ex is on a rampage right now. I just can't deal with it. I don't engage. Anyway, this calendar is critical to understanding reality. That's what I said, because this has all the Jewish calendars. It has the Jewish date and the English and the American date. So you can check things on here that you can't check anywhere else. And this is the best Jewish calendar that I've ever seen. It's called the art calendar, I think. But in the show more below, everything is in the show more below, and you can order it direct. There's a link right there that you can order it. So I highly recommend the calendar. Okay, guys, we will see you in the morning. Please God, your ex seen in your view. Yeah, because I've broken free. It's not the way that things she likes. But you didn't see this. There was a craft out here that I've never seen before. That I'm not saying extraterrestrial. I'm just saying it was a military craft. There's a lot going on. You didn't see it. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. All right, buenas noches. We will see you guys in the morrow. God bless. Yeah, check out the show more, men, and get the calendar if you can. Anything else? It's all down there. Julie's soap. We have all kinds of different things. I need to put back the worm farm has some excellent products too. I don't know if I put that on or not. I can't remember. But if I don't do something, you have to keep after me. I'm trying to do a lot. What does green mean, Barb? Very cool. I've been seeing. Yeah, there are a lot of flights going on. Okay, yeah, get some sleep and we'll pick it up in the morning. God bless.